Hello, welcome to the What Family Caregivers Need to Know. My name is Susan Bida. I'm the host of this show and a co-founder of ecarediary.com. Thank you for joining us today. I'm very excited to introduce a special guest to talk about geriatric care management because so many families out there are not aware of what geriatric care managers do to help families in a situation where they have an aging loved one, perhaps going through some type of long-term illness or disease. So I'd like to introduce Randi Rubin. Hello, Randi. Thanks for being with us today.
Hi, how are you today?
Great. So Randi is the owner and operator of Golden Years Management that provides medical, mental health, financial, and other resources for families. She's a licensed social worker and certified advanced social work case manager. She is a member of the National Association of Social Workers and Social Workers in Aging Practice. So you are definitely an expert on the topic of aging and case management.
I hope so.
To learn more about Randi, you can visit her website at goldenyearsmanagement.com. And that's certainly what family caregivers do, is manage the care of their loved ones. But many of us are new to the work of to the job of caring for a loved one and don't have the experience. So tell us what a geriatric care manager does, Jerry.
Well,
Randi.
Well, a geriatric care manager can do a lot of different things. I know that what I do in my practice is, first I do an assessment to find out where the person's at, what the family's been doing, and what has worked and what hasn't worked. And then I find out about if they are able to live alone, if they have paid caregivers in the house, if they need escorted to doctor's appointments. And so, I just do an assessment to find out all of that. And then afterward, people can hire me to provide further services, or they can just hire me to tell them what's out there.
Yes. The reason I think it's so important to know about geriatric care managers is that, many of us are very new to the world of healthcare, and, you don't have the experience or knowledge of what to do next if your parent ends up in an emergency room or a hospital, and you know that they can't go on without some type of assistance, especially if they're living alone.
Yes.
So that's why I'm so glad you're here to talk to us about geriatric care management. Tell us how a geriatric care manager can help a family caregiver. So you have a primary caregiver, a son or daughter who is overseeing the care of an aging parent. What do you do to help them?
Well, again, I do an assessment, and then I can link them to services that would help them. For instance, a lot of people need someone to care for the loved one during the day. So I don't do that kind of care, for 8 hours, but I am familiar with all the different resources available for people to get help, whether it's through the Area Agency on Aging or the VA or private agencies.
That's great. Now, tell us about, this is a question I get a lot, which is, are geriatric care managers affordable?
Well, I guess that all depends on your viewpoint, because geriatric care managers charge by the hour. Now, I know that I charge $75 for a 2-hour assessment, but I give a very thorough assessment, and I also give information about resources. Some geriatric care managers charge $120 an hour. I mean, I think that it's affordable because it's a real good source of information.
Yes.
And if you don't have that information, what happens is you end up spending more because you don't know where to turn.
Yes, that's a very good way to put it. That is exactly what I have heard about the services. Yes, it might sound like quite a substantial amount to put up front, but considering the amount you might save as a result of making a mistake with certain types of care that your parent might not have needed, it's certainly worth a try.
Yes, yes.
So tell us about some of the resources that are available to seniors and family members if they have ongoing questions.
Well, I know that one resource that people aren't familiar with is the for care in an assisted living or nursing home. If the person is a veteran that was honorably discharged, they can access the American Legion, who can help them fill out the paperwork so they can get services. Yeah, and most people, a lot of people that I've spoken with, they said, oh, I tried to access the VA and it was too hard. But one place that I always tell people to go to is the American Legion, because they're nice, they're willing to go the extra mile for a person.
And you also mentioned the Area Agency on Aging. Can you talk a little bit about them?
Well, the Area Agency on Aging is really for lower income people. And so if you want to get linked to them, you can either call them, or if I'm doing an assessment of a person, I have their referral forms. And then what happens is someone will come out and do an assessment, and then they'll assign a care manager, and that's someone that can oversee the case and will make sure that your loved one gets the services that they need.
And if they're not in a lower income situation and need resources, and they're not a veteran, where can they turn to?
Well, I always refer to a lot of the agencies like Home Instead, senior helpers, because I've met with a lot of the agencies' owners, and I feel comfortable referring to them because I know that they screen their employees very well. And I know that if someone that I refer has a problem, I can always call them up and say, hey, this is what's going on, and this is not what my person wants. So can I get someone else?
And so, and again, that's the benefit of having a geriatric care manager, is that you can help point people in the right direction. Yes. Because you've vetted out a lot of these places, and it can seem very overwhelming when you're, trying to find the right agency or the right home or the right services. So thank you, Randi, for joining us today and for sharing such valuable information about geriatric care management. Thank you to our audience for joining us on What Caregivers Need to Know. Until next time.